Welcome to the Know Before You Go Travel Show, where we share all the latest travel tips, tricks, and insights to make your next vacation the best one yet. So sit back, relax, grab a cocktail, and enjoy the show with Penyak Travel's George Penyak and our senior travel consultant, Janet Penyak.
Hello again, everybody.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to another edition of the Know Before You Go Travel Show, and thank you so much for tuning in with us today. We are hanging out. We got our pup in the office.
Yep, Lucia.
Lucia's named after St. Lucia. She's in the office, where we honeymooned.
Yes.
And I think we're all officially stir crazy from isolation.
Yeah, it is. What's today? Today is April 30th or 29th?
I don't know. I stopped counting days like at the end of March. This is
it's
so
April
weird.
30th. I just looked at my phone.
It's April 30th. Oh, it's 10 days after my birthday.
Yeah.
By the way, thank you for all the birthday love. I got some birthday love.
Yes, you did. But yeah, last day of April, and I'm going stir crazy.
Oh man, this is crazy. So I think we're getting stir crazy from just not traveling.
Yes.
Like I miss that. Honestly, I miss going to a restaurant the most. I now have a entire new appreciation for live sports, which maybe you do too.
Yeah.
And then going to any restaurant, I would sit at the crappiest restaurant in America. Would you not?
Yeah, I probably would right now. Yeah.
I mean, not to name any. I mean, they're all good in their own way. But I mean, I would sit at like a chicken shack on the side of the road right now if it had service of a glass of wine and fried chicken. I'd do it.
Yeah, it would be really nice to, just get out and enjoy, go back to normal and enjoy what we used to do.
We hope we're giving you a little escapism here in the chaos, and we thank you still for tuning in to us. And we've got a great show today because we're really going to go into a lot of good information. You get asked this question very often.
Yes.
And I think we're going to be able to touch on a lot of
Sorry for
resorts.
the squeaking also, by the way. Our Lucia is just decided to start squeaking her ball in here.
Really bad idea to have a dog with a squeak toy in the podcast studio.
Maybe you should take it away from her.
Terrible idea.
I'm not going to, but
I'll hit pause and take it away from her. We'll be right back, guys. Okay, ball's been taken away. All right, so that's how quick you can pause on a podcast. But so what are we talking about today? I'll go ahead and take it from here. Take the wheel.
Yeah, so I get asked a lot, I want to go to an all-inclusive, which the majority of all-inclusives are in the Caribbean, Mexico, and Central America. And a lot of people think that the Caribbean, like every single island, has them and has an abundance of them, and that's not necessarily true. And so recently, someone asked me, they're starting to plan for Christmas travel for their family, and they kind of wanted some options for all-inclusive, somewhat budget-friendly places to go over Christmas. And when you talk about budget-friendly and all-inclusive, the first three destinations that come to mind are going to be the Dominican Republic and Jamaica and Mexico. So I also get asked a lot, well, what about other destinations like St. Lucia, Antigua, further down south in the Caribbean? And they definitely have all-inclusives. There's just not as plentiful as you'll find in those other destinations.
Interesting. So, and I think it's a common misconception that all-inclusives are everywhere, right? And I think people that like going to all-inclusives, they like changing up the islands that they go to or areas that they go to.
Right.
And sometimes you just can't because the really good ones are always in the similar areas. You brought up a good point when we were talking earlier about Aruba, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Aruba isn't a place that necessarily you'd go for an all-inclusive.
Right.
Not necessarily. They're
right.
there, but right.
Yeah, there's a few all-inclusive resorts there, not many, but Aruba is very well known for its food and restaurant scene. And so if you're going to go there, then I would suggest, maybe not doing an all-inclusive. So just for an example, because I did price some things out.
Okay.
So for a family of 3, and this is over Christmas, and I did 3 because I was thinking that a lot of families with younger children, I find typically don't travel out of the country over Christmas because they want, to do the whole Christmas thing with the kids and everything. So that's why I did just 2 adults and a 14-year-old, pricing it out. So if you did the Marriott resort there, that's not all-inclusive. It was coming in at $900 a night. And the Divi Aruba all-inclusive, which is a great budget-friendly option. It's not anything super fancy, but, it's clean, it's nice. I I would recommend it if you're not, if you don't have like super high expectations and want something super fancy.
It's a good value property.
Yes, it's a good value for what you get. And so that one was coming in about $890 a night.
That's interesting. So you're comparing that property to, you're comparing a Marriott to an all-inclusive, so the Marriott's going to be a little bit nicer, you would say, but you have to pay for all your drinks and your food and everything, right?
Yes, yeah. And, we won't go into it now, but we have debated the topic on, all-inclusive versus non-all-inclusive. And
which we will run it back.
Yes, which we will. But I can tell you, if you're there at a resort for a week, you're definitely going to... You're going to run that bill up pretty high. So
yeah, and Aruba is one of those... You're right. Aruba is one of those destinations that you will want to spend a lot of time off property.
Yeah.
So maybe it's not, if it's apples to apples here where you're close on price. Even at the all-inclusive, you'd want to go explore downtown Aruba and hang out by the port, and they have all those great restaurants there.
Right.
So maybe that specific destination, maybe if you do love all-inclusives, you may want to consider going to the Marriott or something like that, because you're going to be paying for that food regardless, because you're going to go off property.
Right.
And every time you go off property at all-inclusive, you're giving up some of that money, because you're going to have to buy your food now because you went off.
Yes.
So you paid for all your food already, but you're kind of double paying in a sense, right?
Yes. Yeah. No, I agree. So some other, destinations, like I mentioned, St. Lucia, Antigua, Barbados, those are very popular. A lot of people, are very interested in traveling to them. Now, over Christmas time, they're definitely not the most budget-friendly options. To give you a couple of ideas on, some suggested resorts there for families. Of course, if you're going as a couple, I would suggest any of the Three Sandals resorts there, or like Jade Mountain or Sugar Beach. But if you're going as a family, I would say, some good budget-friendly options would be the Royalton, the St. James Club, or the Coconut Beach Resort. The Coconut Beach Resort is starting at $650 per night for that time frame, which is really good.
Oh, wow, around the holidays, too. And that's a very, contrary to popular belief, that's a very popular time to travel. I think a lot of people think that people don't travel in December. It's actually the opposite.
Right.
A lot of people do. So rates start to go up for a lot of these properties, right around like end of October, November-ish, right? Like Thanksgiving?
Well,
is that what you see?
No, so they tend to... The low season in travel is going to be September or late August through December, not over a holiday. So once you get over Thanksgiving, once you get around Christmas and New Year's, you'll see the price go up. And so all of these prices, they are just, a generalization, but I have priced this over Christmas week. So arriving Christmas Eve, departing New Year's Eve. That's how I did it.
That's the popular week.
Yeah, so it's the premier week. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the week that a lot of people love to just get away. And like you wouldn't think so, but like they do. It's just crazy, and it just drives demand up, which will drive cost up. Right now, costs are very low, though, still. If you think about it, like these same properties are a fraction of that probably in October or September, in that time frame, just because of everything that's going on with the COVID outbreak.
Right.
So if you're interested in learning more of those deals, if you like something specifically we said and you want us to quote it, feel free to hit us up at PegnacTravel.com, or you can direct DM us, slide right into the DMs at Pegnac Travel on Instagram or Facebook. Message us on Facebook. But that's three great ways to get a hold of us if you want more information. It's totally up to you, but we would love to hear from your fans. We just heard from someone on Instagram the other day. They commented, said they love the podcast. They're gonna call us when they're going to book an Europe trip with us.
Yeah, that's exciting.
We love hearing that. Like, it's just so cool to hear from you guys. At any method you reach out to us, but really, honestly, just listening to us, just having you guys here, checking us out, especially during this COVID. We hope we're giving you a little information, a little mental vacation from what's going on, so you can prepare for your real vacation. But we're here for you when you're ready.
Yes, that's right. So
sorry, I had to slide in a little plug.
I was going to say, you just totally interrupted my St. Lucia.
You had your mojo going?
Yeah, I had my mojo going. But anyways, I know I mentioned Sugar Beach was good for adults. It is a great place for families as well. It's a beautiful resort. So it's not all inclusive, but they do have an all inclusive package that you can add on, and then that would kind of be up to you, whether or not you would think that it's worth it. But over Christmas, 2 adults and a 14-year-old was pricing out. It was starting at $2,500 a night. So again, this is on your high end.
Yep, it's a very expensive time to travel. You got to think about that.
Yes, and this is a 5-star resort. So $2,500 a night, and then the all-inclusive package was $300 per person per night.
Okay, so this is going to add about 50% roughly, maybe a little bit, 50% on top of your overall cost.
And one thing to think about at Christmas time, too, is a lot of resorts do have minimum stay requirements.
Because there's so much demand.
Yes.
That's the thing. There's so much demand for it. And, we can't stress enough that if you are traveling or thinking about traveling during that time frame, wouldn't you recommend, you have to book early? You can't wait on that week of December, that key week, that last week of December, first week of January. You got to book as early as possible. You can't. It's not going down. A lot of people think the rates go down all the time. They do go down, maybe a little bit. It is pretty rare.
Well, and if something drastic like COVID happens,
of course,
right.
Everything's going down. But it's all based on occupancy, and the more rooms there are booked, the less they have of them. So each room becomes more valuable. And as they get closer to being fully booked, well, those last few rooms are going to be a premium because they've already booked up the property. So little things like that to think about. Airlines are the same way.
Yes.
And I do think you hear the quote last minute deal. I don't know. I think that the quote last minute deal might be overhyped a little bit.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I just don't think there's that many of them.
I really don't see them. So
yeah, you might see it now with COVID, but we had a great episode a few podcasts ago, tons of good deals, and we went through all of them.
Yep.
And so if you're kind of a first time listener and you're wondering about deals, just go back a couple episodes, and we have I can't remember what we called it. I think we called it Travel Deals Today or something. Tons of good deals, and we went island by island, property by property, our top favorite places.
Yes, no, that was a good episode.
Yeah, it was.
So another good.
You're looking at me like I can't focus when you're running your mouth. You're burning a hole through my soul to shut my pie hole.
Okay, well, moving on.
Because you're I'm trying to.
Yeah, we're trying to get this done.
No, well, you've got so much good information here.
Yeah, I know, and you keep interrupting. So,
this is a two-way conversation.
Moving on
Stop
to
throwing shade at the host.
Antigua. I was going to talk about Antigua for a second. That is another island in the Caribbean that does have some all-inclusives. Not all of them are, they're not every single one of them that's there is, but they do have some. Now, Antigua does tend to be a little bit more expensive destination, and also you'll find that the flights generally are more expensive because it's just a harder destination to get to. There's not as many flights every day as you'll find to, say, Jamaica, Punta Cana, Cancun, that sort of thing.
Things like that, yep. I agree 100%.
Some budget-friendly all-inclusives there that I'd recommend for families would be Royalton. There's a St. James Club, Antigua as well, and Veranda Resort.
Yep. Royalton's a good spot.
And if you're looking for something higher end, then I would suggest Hermitage Bay or Jumbie Bay. And Hermitage Bay, that's all-inclusive. It's pricing out for Christmas week about $2,500 a night.
Oh, that's okay. That's not bad. And you got to think Christmas week, again, these rates are drastically different than normal rates. So normally these rates are even a lot lower than this. So we're actually quoting premium rates here for a family. And let me ask you this, the theme of the podcast here, we're going families, right? Because this is a family.
Yeah,
quoting family. But in general.
Yes, in general, just to give you an idea on where there are all-inclusives, that's kind of what I wanted to accomplish with this episode. But then also just because I've been specifically asked a few times in the last week or so about family travel over Christmas and, trying to find an all-inclusive, but something different and out of the norm. And so that's why I kind of wanted to cover it and base it on families.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. And I think people are starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel, if you will, for this outbreak. And so more and more people, you're starting to get hit up more and more for people that had to cancel trips to get them rebooked.
Right.
And I think it is key right now to get ahead of the wave. So if you are thinking about booking, or if you haven't booked your travel yet, but you're thinking about doing it maybe for later on this year, there's going to be a wave of people coming. And I think it would be wise to at least explore your options before the wave hits. And then if you have to cancel, the flexibility's there, right? Still,
it can be
for the most part. It's way more flexible than it was.
Yeah, I don't have my lower priced cancel for any reason insurance available during Christmas time. They don't allow
that's
it
for Christmas, but I'm talking about in general. Traveling. Yeah, in general, it's there.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, there's definitely flexibility.
But the Christmas week is a unique week.
Yeah,
if you're a first time listener, I want you guys to understand. Christmas week, we're quoting that it's very unique.
Yes. and Lucia's
she's like making a presence on this show.
Yeah, she
today.
wants everybody to know who she is. Okay. But, I did want to say, just back to, or like I said, in St. Lucia, if you're, talking about couples and look at some of the Sandals or Sugar Beach or Jade Mountain in Antigua, if you are, just two adults traveling, there's a great Sandals resort there. A couple other adult-only all-inclusives that I would recommend are Galley Bay, Antigua, and Cocoa Bay, Antigua. Definitely look at both of those as well.
And we're looking at going to Antigua pretty soon, fingers crossed.
Well, we're not looking at it. We're booked.
We're booked, but we don't know if it's going to happen. So we're 50-50.
Yeah, we're supposed to leave in 23 days. Who's counting?
Yeah, so hopefully we can go, because I do want to see some of those properties, see the updates, go check out the Sandals, kind of do our thing, and I think
people are going to think we're crazy.
I mean...
and that's okay.
We're going to abide by all social distancing.
Oh, yeah, I know, but
we're not going to break the rules.
I'm sure people will probably be like, oh my gosh, they're traveling out of the country right now. That's insane.
Yeah, I think
but
there's a lot of people that might want to get away, though. We're definitely not going to be the only ones.
If we can go and the border's open and the resort's open, we're going.
Yeah, if it's deemed safe. Like, obviously, I don't think everyone's got an opinion on it. It's really hard. Like, it's one of these things that no one knows. Like, we've never done this. This is a new pandemic. I mean, we're learning by the day. Things are changing by the day. So, I mean, I feel comfortable. I mean, I'm gonna, and we always like had hand sanitizer. Like, we were already uber like crazy clean, anyways.
Yeah.
When it comes to like our own germs and things like that. So, yeah. And obviously, if I'm like feeling ill, we're not going.
Well, yeah, then we will not go.
Yeah.
So back to other destinations. So I get asked about Barbados a lot, and Barbados really is kind of newer on the all-inclusive scene. 5 years ago, they really did not have an all-inclusive resort, and now they have them. They have a few. So there's, of course, the two Sandals resorts there that are great, and then there's another one called the Club Barbados, and then a few other smaller ones that are by Elegant Hotels. And a great option there for families, all-inclusive, would be the Seabreeze Beach House in Barbados. And they had some pretty reasonable pricing, I thought, for what you get for Christmas time for a family. But it was starting at $1,062 per night.
Okay.
And then you could get a 2-bedroom suite for $1,900 a night.
Okay.
That's all-inclusive. So I thought that was fairly good for that time of year.
Put your wallet away.
In a destination like Barbados, that is a more expensive place to travel in general.
Yeah, more developed too. It's just a little bit more developed than some of the other islands. And I think, what about the tipping policy? I know it's going to vary by property.
Right.
So I think
the majority of these that I'm talking
about, it's okay to tip.
Yeah.
So bring a little bit of money to tip your waiter, tip a bartender. If you'd like, it's optional, but they do accept it. Right. So that's one thing to really note too. So you will put your wallet away to an extent.
Yes.
To an extent, which isn't bad. And we just got back from Secrets Plymouth Harris.
Yes.
And the tipping was fine. I'm
going to talk about Mexico.
Oh. You're shutting me down this episode.
You're jumping ahead.
I don't have the schedule.
I don't have a schedule. I just have some stuff, down.
There's no schedule to this. I mean, at least I haven't seen a schedule, if there's a schedule to this.
Okay, well, I've got a list over here I'm trying to go by.
Okay. Hey, I'm going to stay out of your way. Stick to the list.
So another destination that I get asked a lot about for all-inclusives is Turks and Caicos. And there's only a few there. There's, of course, the Beaches Turks and Caicos Resort, which is on the more expensive side. So to give you an idea, over Christmas for 2 adults and a 14-year-old, it's starting at $1,600 per night for the lead-in room category. And then if you wanted something that had like a separation between the bedroom and a living room so the adults can have some privacy, then it's $2,700 per night.
I think the adults need some privacy.
Probably so.
Yeah, and Beaches is probably my personal favorite family resort. I really think. I mean, it's such a great property.
Yes.
And so it's going to be on the higher end of this Christmas week if you're planning travel for the holidays and you want to go that specific week. It's going to be on the high end.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to be in high demand. It's
usually always sold out.
It's usually always sold out. If you go to our YouTube page, we have a YouTube video on Beaches, Turks and Caicos, so you can check it out. We never really talk about our YouTube page. We have some cool videos up there, though. But yeah, we have one on there on Beaches, Turks. It's great. I think it's on our Instagram and Facebook as well, but it's probably easier to find on YouTube.
Yes.
And it's cool seeing like the Elmo walking around,
Yeah,
the
it
Cookie
is.
Monster, and I was in the pool. Like, I just remember the one shot of me doing a selfie with the
with
Cookie
Cookie
Monster.
Monster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was cool.
No, definitely. Another
back on track. Back on schedule.
track. Another good all-inclusive there is called Alexandra Resort. It used to not be all-inclusive, but now it is. And they have 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom suites. So that's a really good spot for families as well.
A lot of options.
Yeah,
Which is good.
and so that was starting at $1,540 a night. Now you're not going to have all the amenities and things to do quite like beaches, but it's a great option for Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, and Turks, and it's such a, I think Turks is really unique from, it's just so quaint and small and, undeveloped.
Right.
It's a very undeveloped island. If you want a very unique experience, I think Turks can give you that. There's not going to be a lot to do off property, right?
It's all about the beach and the water there.
It's
pretty
all about
much.
the beach and the water. If you want
Yeah.
chill and lounging just on the beach, and you don't want a tremendous stuff to do off property, I think Turks is a great place to look, especially if you're looking for that $1 million wow beach.
Yes, but
It's
it
one
is
of the best out
not.
there.
It's not what I would call budget friendly. It's going to
No,
be
not
a
at
lot more expensive destination than the Dominican Republic, Jamaica, Mexico.
Yes, a lot of people will request it, and then once they realize how much it is, and you know what? What's interesting is if Turks is out of your budget, we can still find you a really good beach that is. You know what I mean? There's great beaches out there. Turks just has that little uniqueness to it from the size of the island. It's just so small. You
Right.
feel like you're just in I don't know. It's just a very unique place from the size of it to how beautiful it is. Because you would expect something that beautiful would have all these high rises everywhere,
Right, and yeah,
but it's
it
an
doesn't.
untouched little gem.
Well, and one of the reasons that I was told one time there that why it's so expensive is because absolutely everything that is on that island is imported. So I don't know how much
that's probably
truth
true.
that is,
Yeah.
but it definitely seems like it would be true, and that's why everything is just more expensive there.
I could see that being 100%. They have zero exports,
Yes.
unless they have a rum that's probably made in Turks or something. Maybe a
Yeah.
small little rum or something, but. There's not many when you're driving. You don't see many farms. That's right. When you drive through, there's not many farms, things like that. So, very good point.
Yes.
I would say, and that's my personal favorite out of the list so far, though. To be honest,
Yeah, well then, so I just kind of wanted to go over, give you a brief idea on what you could expect for a budget-friendly, all-inclusive destination like Mexico, Jamaica, or the Dominican Republic. So a couple places in Jamaica I'd recommend, Beaches Negril. That's going to be on the higher end, but was starting at $1,320 a night.
no tipping policy there too. By the way,
No
right?
tipping.
So that's good.
The Moon Palace Jamaica, which is a great resort, and they've had some really good pricing for Christmas lately, and that one was $950 per night. And then if you want something a little more high end, I was trying to price it before we got started with this, but I couldn't get their website to work. But Half Moon Resort there is also really
That's a good
nice.
place.
So I would recommend that. Now, looking at Mexico, so where we just were, Playa Mujeres, the Dreams Playa Mujeres, that's a great resort for families. About 40 minutes north of Cancun. They've got a little water park there with water slides.
Gotta have
the
the water
Dolphin
park.
So that one was right at $1,100 per night at Christmas time for 2 adults and a 14-year-old. And then right down the street from there is another beautiful resort called Finest Playa Mujeres, and that's part of the Excellence Hotel group. And I would definitely recommend it as well. And that one was coming about $1,235 per night.
Around Christmas, right? This is
Yes.
Christmas. What are those dates again?
Christmas Eve to New Year's Eve.
Okay, so that's a hot time. We
Yes.
just want to make sure everyone, because if you're going to Google it, you're going to see better prices. But if you have to look at those dates,
Right.
That's good price for those given dates.
Yeah. And now if you really want something that is going to be easier on your budget for Christmas time, consider Punta Cana. Beautiful island, great people, but you can get the Hard Rock there for $615 per night, all inclusive.
For that
At
week?
Christmas time, yes.
Wow.
And so when you compare that, to say like St. Lucia, and you're gonna, some of these resorts are $2,500 and up per night. You can really see there is a very big difference in between the islands. So
Yeah, so it's still possible, even if you're on a budget, to go during that week, because a lot of people won't go because it's so dang expensive.
Right.
But if you want that premium week of the year, and you don't want to have Christmas dinner with the family, or there's a lot of reasons why you want to take the kids and get out of Dodge or get out of town. there is an option there for very, very, budget friendly places. And by the way,
and these are all nice. Like, it's,
that's what I'm
yeah,
saying,
I would stay at any of these properties that I have mentioned.
Yeah,
just FYI.
These are properties that we would stay at ourselves.
Yes,
and
or
that
that I
says a
have
lot.
sent clients to and gotten great feedback on.
Yes.
So, everything we're talking about here, I would definitely recommend. Now, I also get asked a lot, what about Grand Cayman? Well, there's not any all-inclusive resorts in Grand Cayman, and in the Virgin Islands, I think there's maybe one or two, but from what I know about them, they're very, very small. They're not like your typical resorts. It's just like a smaller hotel that they have, the food and the
like
drinks
a little
included.
boutique hotel that has the option.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the Bahamas,
where it's like one restaurant you're going to eat at every day.
Right.
Yeah.
So the Bahamas, I really would not suggest an all-inclusive there for a family. You're going to look at pretty much Nassau, and I, in my personal opinion, don't think that the family all-inclusive resorts there are up to like great standards as what you can find in other destinations. Yeah, and so that's why I wouldn't really recommend it.
Yeah, and I think if you're committed to Nassau, I think two good properties are obviously Atlantis and then Baha Mar. Now they're not all inclusive.
But they're not all inclusive.
They're kid friendly though.
Yeah, they're kid friendly, great properties. At Atlantis, you can add on a meal plan, so that's really good.
Yeah, so you'll have that option, but yeah, we would recommend those.
Absolutely. They're just not. There's not any all inclusive ones there that I'd recommend.
Exactly. So there are properties. So this show here, we're just specifically on all inclusives and Christmas week. And it's a hot week, and people are asking us about it, so we're getting the information out there.
Yes.
So, hope you guys enjoyed our little tour of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm talking in these weird voices.
I have no idea either.
Way too much coffee today. All right. Question of the day.
Question of the day.
Question of the day.
Yes. What is it?
Crap, what was it? It wasn't my phone. I forgot the notes. We're just live TV here. No, I got it. The most interesting thing you've ever bought while traveling?
The most interesting thing I've ever bought?
While traveling. So think about all the times we've traveled and you had to buy something, whether you wanted it, needed it, whatever. What's the most interesting thing you purchased?
This might be really lame, and I'm not a huge shopper, just FYI, I put that out there. So this might be kind of lame, but when I was in Tahiti, I bought this really beautiful, like, French Polynesian dress. And I love that dress, and I still wear it, like down in the Caribbean and everything, because you can't find anything like that here. So I would say maybe that's
pretty lame.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding. It's
but
not
I
lame.
do usually.
That's not lame at all. It's actually pretty cool.
And then and some people might find this kind of quirky, but every time we go to Mexico, I get the glass blown cat figures.
That's cool, yeah.
I don't know why I always get them. I love cats. I love all animals, but they have them in Mexico, and I always get one there.
You're a crazy glass cat lady.
Yeah, there you go.
Not a crazy cat lady with dozens of cats at the house. You're a crazy glass cat lady with dozens of the glass
But I have
cats.
like 6 or 7 of them on my desk, so that's okay.
I still love you.
Yeah.
All right.
What's
most
yours?
interesting thing I've ever bought? Yeah.
You buy a magnet from everywhere.
I've bought some cool hats. I like
he
the
has
straw
a hat
hats.
obsession.
The straw hat. I'm talking specifically the straw hats for the beach, like the little beach hats. Really, the most interesting thing I would say, or at least the most like needed thing, maybe, which makes it very interesting, are the clothes that we bought in Jamaica when our luggage got lost. We had no clothes for like 2 or 3 days, and we just go buy new clothes. So we went to the store that was on at the resort at Sandals in Jamaica, and just started buying up what they had. So they had a lot of like stuff that I wouldn't wear every day.
Yeah.
It's just like vacation stuff, like very strange, not strange, but just stuff you don't wear every day.
Right.
And I was wearing that to dinner. Like I had like, I don't know.
Like just random tank tops.
Like tank tops. And
Unfortunately, they did not have underwear that we could buy there, so we had to wear the same underwear.
It was really weird. But we did wash our underwear, so that
in
was
the
good.
bathtub, yeah.
Yeah, and then but like I like my slim fit pants, and I had the big baggy island pants on. I mean, I was looking like island out, and that's not necessarily my style when I travel.
Yeah.
But I would say that's probably the most interesting. Which is probably even lamer than yours.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. I guess we're not that interesting.
So I don't know. But anyways, we love you guys. That's the show. Let's call it a day.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We hope you gave you a little mental vacation, maybe prepping for your real vacation. And hope you guys enjoyed the show. We look forward to hearing from you soon. And we'll see you guys later.
See you later.